Watch closely, because this one costs people entire afternoons. In DaVinci, go to the first frame of the clip is assigned to the semicolon. I press it. Nothing. Then I press the apostrophe, which is go to the last frame, and that one works. My keyboard isn't broken, DaVinci isn't broken, and Magic Automa isn't broken. It's something that happens to anyone without an American keyboard. And since a lot of what Magic Automa does inside DaVinci goes through keys, it's the first thing to know before blaming the macros. In 7 minutes. Why it happens, how to spot it in 2 seconds, and how to fix it once and for all. One step back. In video 22, you saw the DaVinci shortcut action. You pick the command by name, not the key, the command, and Magic Automa presses whatever combination that command has on your DaVinci today. What you may not know is how much else works that way without saying so. Frame trimming, clip duration, timeline zoom. Where DaVinci gives us a backdoor, meaning scripting, we use it. You saw that in the videos about clip color and silences. But that door doesn't cover everything. Ripple delete, to name one, simply isn't in the API. So keys stay, and your keyboard becomes part of the engine. Magic Automa doesn't guess your keyboard. It reads it. 3 sources in order. DaVinci's defaults, which we carry with us per version and per operating system. Then DaVinci's own configuration file, which says whether you're on a custom keyboard and what that preset is called. And finally, the preset file itself, exported from DaVinci, where your real combinations live. All of it is visible. Menu applications, DaVinci Resolve, shortcuts. Every command with its stock combination and yours if you changed it. And at the top, the name of the preset DaVinci is on right now. There's also the reverse search, which is my favorite. Press a combination and it tells you which command claims it. From now on, when a macro doesn't fire, this window is the first thing to open. Here's why. When DaVinci assigns a command to a punctuation character, it doesn't bind the character. It binds the physical key of the American keyboard, the one that makes that mark over there. On my Italian keyboard, that key doesn't exist. I make a semicolon with Shift plus comma and square brackets with Alt-GR. The result, I can type the character perfectly well, but the command never fires. The characters at risk are always these 6, semicolon, apostrophe, the 2 square brackets, the backslash, and the backtick. And it's no accident that they're exactly the ones DaVinci uses for important navigation and trim commands. And now the other side of the coin, taught to us by a beta tester with a UK keyboard. On an American or British keyboard, those keys are direct, they work, and warning that user will be shooting ourselves in the foot. That's why the check looks at the layout you actually have active at that moment. If you're on a keyboard where those keys fire, we say nothing. Magic Automa doesn't let you discover this from a wrong result. It tells you before it starts, and there are 2 different warnings. The first, these commands have no shortcut assigned at all. That one is 100% certain. No keys, no action, full stop, and the cure is to assign them in DaVinci. The second, and this one is ours, these commands are still on punctuation keys that don't work on non-US keyboards. It lists command by command, which combination it's about to press, tells you the cure in one line, and leaves the decision to you. Run anyway, or stop and fix it. And if you're someone who knows what they're doing, there's the checkbox to never be warned again. You see the same thing while you build, in yellow, inside the Trim Actions editor. So you notice while writing the macro, not while editing your film. The permanent cure is already on your disk. Inside Magic Automa's folder, there's a keyboards folder, and in it the keyboard file we prepared. You import it into DaVinci in the keyboard settings, save it as a preset named Magic Automa. The name matters because that's the bridge that lets us find the file again and switch to it. What actually changes, because I don't want you importing blind. 2 commands get moved, and they're the 2 broken ones. Go to first frame and go to last frame, move off the semicolon and the apostrophe onto Control Alt Shift 8 and 9. Everything else is untouched. It only gets a second save combination added next to the one you know. Ripple trim stays on Control Shift bracket and also answers to Control Alt Shift Q, and plane trim, the 1 and 3 decibel audio levels, zoom, jump to next gap. Same story, your muscle memory loses nothing. And to be clear, that file is a complete export of DaVinci's keyboard, not a fragment. Importing it doesn't make anything else disappear. Back to Magic Automa. Reopen the list. The preset name is now at the top, and the commands show your customized combination next to the stock one. I run the trim macro again. No warning, and the cut lands where it should. Done once, done forever. And it works just as well if you already have your own custom keyboard and don't want ours. In that case, export your preset from DaVinci into that same folder, and we'll read your combinations instead of the defaults. A note for Mac users. In the keyboard file, DaVinci writes Control, but means the Command key. We know we translate it. You don't have to do anything. You only need to know why the file says Control everywhere. To recap, many DaVinci actions go through keys. Magic Automa reads the real keyboard, the one you're using. 6 punctuation characters don't work on non-US keyboards because DaVinci binds them to the American physical key. The program tells you before it runs, and the preset in the keyboard's folder fixes it without taking your habits away. If a DaVinci macro doesn't fire and does an error, start here. And if you want to see this preset at work inside a real macro, that's video 93. Subscribe, and see you next time.